What is going on, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor of urbanpitch.com. As always, I'm joined by, we have a co-host missing today.
Yeah.
Bridget Flores.
The co-director of Vibes.
The co-director of Vibes couldn't make it. She was out getting too vibey this weekend. It was her birthday. So I don't know if it's an excused absence.
I was with her the whole time.
Yeah.
So
and you're here.
Yeah, and I'm here. So I don't
made
know.
it.
So I'm saying we were battling for that director of Vibes for Urban Pitch Podcast, and I think
we have someone who it's clear who's more dedicated. I think we'll just say that.
Yeah.
Julio Rosa, who might be the new executive co-director of Vibes. We might have to demote the wonderful Bridget Flores.
If I'm just executive, it means no co.
Yeah,
executive
exactly.
Director Vibes.
We're nixing the co for now. Bridget will have to plead her case.
She's in a
next
90-day
week.
probation.
Yeah, she's on probation. We'll see.
First
what she's
write-up.
going on. Yeah. It's her first strike,
We'll
but
let it
also, I mean, how long? I missed the first episode. I missed an episode before you did.
Yes.
Because I got sick.
And I got sick.
And then you got sick, but we don't really know.
Yeah.
We had a call with Bridget yesterday, and she sounded okay. She said, but whatever. She's playing it safe.
She sounded like a third grade PE teacher.
But we do have a special guest in the house. She is a professional footballer for Xolos in Tijuana. We got Johanna Rosas in the building. Johanna, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. You guys can call me Jojo. Everyone calls me Jojo in the soccer community.
Yeah, so I didn't want to overstep my bounds in.
We cool, but we ain't that cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So now we have.
Now we cool.
Now we're cool.
So Jojo, what's going on with you? How you been?
I've been good. I'm excited. I have a big doctor's appointment tomorrow. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have a big cast. I've had a cast for about 2 months now. So I see the doctor tomorrow and hoping for good news.
Yeah, that pattern jacket kind of hit it.
I was trying to get something that would hide it.
That's a strategic move there.
Yeah.
So what happened? What was it? Broken wrist, torn ligament?
Yeah, broken wrist. I actually just signed with Xolos this season, and we had a preseason out here in Downey, and the goalie took me out, and I broke my wrist during preseason.
Nice. So did you have to get surgery?
I did, yes, but I broke it at that game, but I played for about a month. Played games, training every day, everything for a month.
It's
my wrist. Yeah. I was like, I can do that. I just need my
legs. I just gotta score and not give high fives.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it might be an advantage.
So I had surgery August 1st, and now I'm 2 months in the cast. So.
But it's coming off.
So ready for it to come off.
Did they put screws and all that?
They did, yeah. Well, they actually. So I did the surgery in Tijuana, and they were trying.
I don't know if I can trust a doctor.
I know, right? I know. Don't worry. I looked him up.
I wasn't gonna say it.
You put construction screws.
They probably tried. So I looked him up. He's legit.
He's accredited. Come on now.
Yes, accredited from the U.S. So I was like, okay, I'll be okay with that. But he tried to put in screws. My bone is too. I'm a tiny player,
Oh, okay.
So my bone is so tiny they couldn't put screws in. So they had to put like clavos. I don't even know how you would describe that. Nails.
Yeah, nails.
In English.
Nails.
So yeah, nails. So they put in 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you get? Are they still in there?
They're still in there. He put them in there in a way so that they won't come out.
Okay.
To try to avoid that second surgery.
Legit doctor.
Yeah. So now he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Look at me talking trash.
Hopefully.
It's a dude. It's a guy doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to him. Sorry.
Shout out to him.
So
Dr. Aguilar or something like that.
Yeah. Shout out to him. But so you'll be lining up metal detectors.
Yes.
Dang, okay.
But I have plenty of hardware, as I like to call it, because I've torn both my ACLs. So.
Oh, wow.
So you're not new to the surgery.
Yes, table. But to be honest, this one's been, mentally wise, you'd think, an ACL is bad,
Right.
And it was because I was younger. But mentally wise, this one has been so hard. I don't know what it is. I think it's the cast, the restriction, that I can't do it. I'm like going crazy.
So today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Football is back, and Bet Online remains your number one source for all your football betting needs this season. You'll find the latest odds, matchup info, player news, and game trends. And as your continued source for all sports wagering info, Bet Online features live betting, free contests, live scores, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events like the MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf. Head to betonline.ag, that's betonline.ag, to join and receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. Bet Online, where the game starts. It's your left wrist. Are you left-handed?
No, I'm righty.
Okay.
Which
So
very good.
So in what ways has it been like mentally challenging for you?
I think, like I said, the restriction has been very difficult at night. The first month I was okay, and I think it was just my mind. My first appointment that I went to go see him, I was thinking like, it feels better. I'm gonna get the cast off 1 month in. Silly. He really told me it was gonna take 3 months, but I was trying to be optimistic, and I was like, I'm getting it off in a month. I'm super healthy, And I went in with that mindset that it was coming off, and he told me another month. Oh wow. So I think like that was like, and I just So now when I go to sleep, it's like I don't have anxiety or anything at all, and I'm completely fine during the day. But as soon as I lay in bed, it's like a switch in my mind, and I just get anxiety, and I cannot sleep. Like, it's the worst thing ever. I don't know if you guys have.
You're alone with your thoughts.
Yes,
there's no distractions. It's just you.
So
but it's like
really
you see the finish line, but you just can't get there yet.
Exactly. Right. And now this time around, I feel even better. Like before, I would move it in there a little bit, and I could feel a little bit of pain. This time, I don't feel that. So I think that is also like, I'm fine. Just get it off me, you know? I'm like, I tell my husband, like, just bring me my knife. Bring me the knife, like, I'm going to cut it off right now. Yeah. Because I can't stand it anymore, so. And
so you mentioned that you're still able to train.
Yes.
Has it, like, provided any roadblocks on that end, like, with the team?
Not well. I've only been cleared to do non-contact and all, like, only lower body, very limited to upper body lifting. So in that sense, it has. When I was there, all we would do was contact and upper body. So it was, I kind of talked to the coach, and I was like, hey, mentally, this has been really rough for me. And if you're okay with it, I'd like to go home, because I was living in Tijuana. Said I'd like to go home and keep training at my house. I'll come once or twice a week. And luckily, they agreed to that. I think I'm also a player that I won't slack off, So, so they understand. They were like, sure, like, go home. Go do what you like to do, and train. And I only come once or twice a week now, which has been great, because now that I come, I think it's even better for the coaches, because now they tell me the days that I'm going to be able to do more and be more involved, instead of just showing up and like being on the side.
Right. And just, yeah. So what's the training schedule like for Xolos right now? So
right now we're in season. So we train in the mornings. So we train at 7 a.m. We have to be in the locker room at 6:30. So when I come from home, I have to leave my house.
Where are you living right now?
In Costa Mesa. So
you're going from Costa Mesa to Tijuana.
To Tijuana, yeah. And it's not that bad. I leave at about 4:40 a.m. in the morning, and I get there at 6:15, 6:30. Yeah, not that bad. I try to go to sleep early, but it's been rough, But I only have to do it once or twice, so it's not too bad. So train in the morning. It's basically, that's it. We just train in the morning. Sometimes we start with weight and then go out to the field. Sometimes we just go straight to the field. Especially right now that it's the end of the season, they're, adjusting training sessions so bodies can last the whole. We just made Liga, so I'm like, my Spanglish is going to come out. I'm sorry. We just made playoffs.
Yeah, right. Playoffs.
We just made playoffs.
I'm like getting it. Like, yeah, I understand. Definitely. It's a Spanglish.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm bad with the Spanish. I go.
He's our resident translator.
Especially now that I'm in Tijuana, I go back and forth so much. I'm like, I need to stop doing that. But yeah. So we just do that in the mornings, and a lot of. We had like an autograph session a couple weeks ago, so they let us know ahead of time if we have any like activities like that.
Right.
But yeah.
Cool. Yep. Yeah. So this is your first year with Xolos. What's been the overall experience So far?
It's different. You know, it's different from out here, from the U.S. A little backtracking to, you know,
Sure.
my story. I graduated in 2018 from Cal State Fullerton. Go Titans. So I played
Big
there. Yeah, Big West. I played there and I graduated in 2018. But at the time, since I was little, I always knew I wanted to play. You know,
Right.
I was a tomboy in the house. I was the one that always would play soccer, nothing else. Didn't play any other sports, just soccer. So I knew I wanted to do that, but I knew I couldn't go where I wanted to go. So I wanted to play in Mexico because that's where I'm from. I was born there. But I have all my family there. None of them have ever seen me play. None of them have ever. They know soccer is important, and they know it's important for my life and my family. But not one time have they seen me play. You know, so I wanted to play out there, but immigration stuff I couldn't. So it was really hard because I knew I wanted that, but I couldn't get to it. You know, and at the same time I was training, but I was not really training. You know, it was kind of like in my mind
after
I
you
knew.
graduated?
Yeah, this is after I graduated. And then in 2019, I got invited to go to Chicago with Club America.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I went. It was crazy. My dad was upset because I was living with my boyfriend at the time. Traditional Mexican family,
Sure.
big no, you know. So he was very upset. He's like, if you guys would have gotten married, you would have been ready to go when America called you, you know. And so the
But that's
day
your
I
husband
left,
now.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So the day I left to America, to Chicago, I got married. Went to the
Wow.
courthouse, got married.
Wow.
Nothing was going to happen then, but I wanted to see where I was. You know, I wanted to train with America, which is one of the bigger clubs out there, and see if I was good enough. You know, I just wanted to see how I compared to the competition. So I went out there, and I did really well. They asked me to come out, but I couldn't, because if I left, then I would leave, you know, my work permit. I would lose everything. So not a smart thing to do. So I had the opportunity to get a master's, be a graduate assistant coach at the University of Laverne.
Oh, wow.
So I did that instead. Yeah, and
I went to
was
Cal
like,
Lu.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
no way.
yeah,
We don't like Cal.
No, we don't like the leopard. We
Oh,
don't-
whoa.
this is
No wonder.
not
Like,
a Laverne
before the podcast even
friendly-
started, I
I
saw the
felt a little
yeah,
tension,
I saw
yeah.
a little tension right
Yeah,
there.
so I maybe it was something, you know, like you just
That's
exuded
awesome. That's so
Leo
cool.
energy.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you there with Steven?
Well, I coached on the women's side, so I was there
But
with
Steve Chase was.
Yeah,
on the women.
he was there, and when I came, he left.
Oh,
So,
got
but yeah, I know Steven. We were there for about a couple months together.
Okay,
Love
cool.
him. Shout out to Steven.
Yeah, shout out to Steve.
I thought you were going to say
Great
something
guy.
bad about him. I'm like,
No, that's my guy, bro. That's my guy. Yeah.
Yeah, love him. We wish he would have stayed with us because he really helped, you know, with the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that, and I figured I'll do this until I get my green card, basically.
Yeah.
And then once I finish getting my green card and my degree, then I'll go. And that happened. So as soon as I finished my degree, I finished it in 2021. I was actually finishing my last assignments out in Juarez, waiting to get my green card.
oh, wow.
So finished my master's, got my green card, and in my mind now I was like, okay, there's nothing holding you back. You know, now you need to go for it. Now you need to train and be committed. And I never really got out of shape, you know, like technically, but being in shape and like soccer shape is very different. You know,
Yeah,
like you can
yeah.
run for days, but can you play? Like very different. So yeah, I did that, and I went for it. So now with Tijuana. It was I was out with Santos first, and then I went to Pumas, but my husband was a little nervous about me living so far away. And so I had to, you know, make a decision. And luckily, Tijuana invited me out to their preseason, and it's just the best of both worlds. You know,
Nice.
I'm a very committed player or person, so I like to live out there because I think that's just going to make me a better player overall.
Right.
But whenever it's like an off day or like right now we're in Fecha FIFA, so they get like 2-3 days off, then I knew that I could come home, you know, so that makes it very convenient, especially because I can see my family as well. They can't leave the U.S., so it's important for me to be able to come home and see them as often as I can.
And just to backtrack, like you said, you never stayed. You always were in shape. Like same with me. I stopped playing soccer. I never lost shape. I just gained it more.
Yeah, look at him. Yeah.
I just got more shape.
He's in shape. He's in shape.
I just got more shape.
You rounded it out.
Yeah, I rounded to the nearest 10 pounds.
No, he rounded out his game. No, but so I mean, so you were playing. You graduated 2018.
Yes.
So that was the last time you played like competitive,
Yes.
like Division I soccer.
Yes.
And then 2021 is when you signed with Xolos?
2022 this
2022.
year.
So
Yeah.
how quickly or how long did it take you to kind of get back into that kind of like everyday training type atmosphere?
Great question. So I think it was February. February.
February.
Yeah.
There you go.
In February. Sorry, my Spanish is my first language.
I know the
feel
months.
like,
I know the months, and
Okay.
I know enero,
Count to 10 right now, Ramsey.
I always feel like I have an accent.
Marzo,
Febrero.
Abril,
There you go.
Mayo, Junio, Julio.
There you go.
Yeah.
We out here. Bilinguals.
So in February, I decided like, okay, no excuses, go for it. And I reached out to Coach Eric. He's a speed and agility coach out in Downey area.
Okay.
Legacy is his thing.
We have our friend Destiny training him as well.
Yeah. Destiny
Toluca.
Duron. Yeah, she plays for
Cool,
Toluca.
cool.
Yeah. So I reached out to him and kind of just started talking to him, and he's like, let's do it, And he was kind of the one that, shout out to Coach Eric, because he was really the one that said, if you're serious about this, let's go for it, And I was like, okay. And I felt like everyone else I had talked to was like, yeah, we'll do it. But then there was no action, And he was more of like, obviously it was me, the one reaching out to him, but he was like, okay, this day, this is what we're doing. And it was like more a laid out plan, So now I could see it instead of just talking about it. And I never stopped playing. Like I would play co-ed soccer all the time. I think I enjoyed that more than playing with women because I felt like that would help me stay in shape. Men are faster, men are quicker. I had to play smarter, all those things.
Shout out to the man.
Yeah. Shout out to the man. So I felt like, and I always try to play as much as I could. And then the summer before going out to, or I guess, like the summer, I played for Miss Kick FC in Orange County with Coach Scott Juniper from UCI.
Oh, wow.
Miss Kick FC was like such a blessing, honestly, because I was playing co-ed, 11v11 co-ed, and it was great for my skill and everything, but I felt like I needed more like actual competition, So that team like was amazing for me to start playing with them, because now I was playing with really good players. I mean, players from the national team, U.S. national team players from UCLA, from I don't know, Duke, Oregon, like just so many big names.
Like a summer
Yeah,
team.
It's a WPSL team.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So-
it's like UWS, like kind of like semi-pro,
Women's,
like but like top level. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was great doing that. And I felt like that really helped, because when I went out to Tijuana, I felt the best I've ever felt. Even at training, like I was like, okay, like this is easy, like, and it was like, okay, maybe it's because I've been playing so much. And I think, training with Coach E and just the playing competitively at that semi-professional level really helped during that preseason, because I felt, it just helps with confidence when you feel like you're not going to die in the first run.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So what would you say the difference is between that? I know you play Cal State Fullerton. What would be the difference between that type of soccer compared to now at TJ? Is it similar? Is one level bigger than the other one, or is it about the same?
That's a great question. It's different. I wouldn't say. Well, I don't know. That's kind of a hard question.
No, the
But
reason I ask is because usually the American women team is usually they play at the highest level. Most of a lot of the college girls here go to play in Mexico, and they make the national team.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, is it a big difference from playing D1 to playing pro in Mexico, or is it similar?
Yeah.
Or
I think the style is different. Out there, you'll see a lot of the players aren't as athletic, I guess you would say, as players out here in the U.S. But they I guess they make up for their lack of athleticism with their just their IQ of the game.
Right.
You know, they're so smart. They know how to play in a certain way where you don't need that, you know.
Right.
And I think it is evolving. So this is, I believe, the fifth year of the league. So it is evolving, and I see a lot of changes, a lot coming towards, you know, like the U.S. style of playing.
Yeah.
I mean, on my team alone, we have a couple international players who I think are helping make that change of speed, more, you know, strength on the field, all that. That is comparison to the U.S. soccer. But I just think it's different. So I wouldn't say like one is better than the other. I think, I mean, maybe it's the U.S. soccer has been going, you know, longer than the Mexican soccer. So maybe in that sense it is, but competition wise, I think it's very, very similar at least. Yeah. I think it fits me better because I'm more of a, you know, like crafty, smart player. I like to make things happen. Yeah. Instead of just like in college we had a plan, you know, and if you deviated from that plan, structured. Yes, it was like you were benched. Like I remember one game I made like this amazing play. Like I was a winger at Fullerton and I made this great play, but I went inside. We scored off of it. And right after the goal, my coach was like, that was great. If you do that again, I'm pulling you out.
Dang.
And I was like, what? Like, but we scored, you know? Yeah. But it's just that like structure of like, it's just so different. Over there, it's more like free and like you can do more.
That's been one of like the main criticisms about like the quote unquote American style of playing. Yeah. Like even last week, Abraham Romero, who played with Pachuca and the Mexican youth national team, was talking about how in Mexico game's a little bit slower. Yeah. But there's like a difference to it where, you know, you're maybe a little bit more free to you know, try out some creative things here and there. Whereas I think with the U.S., a lot of people are saying, you know, everything is like when it comes to identifying players, they look for size, they look for speed, rather than, you know, maybe a smaller player who can do a lot more on the pitch, but they just don't pass that eye test, right? Yes. So I mean, it's 100%. Interesting that you're seeing now some of that, the U.S. style coming into Mexico. Yes. And there's a lot of players, I think. Mia Fischel is like with Tigres. She was top draft pick in the NWSL with, I think she was picked by Orlando. But she picked Tigres over NWSL, which is like at that point, which is like, you know, like kind of unheard of. Yes. But I mean, she's killing it with Tigres. I mean, we saw her play Angel City when they came up and did the international friendly. So where do you see Liga MX? How have you seen? I know you haven't been there for like that long. It's still your first year, but how have you seen like the growth of the league in your time in Tijuana?
Well, like I said, like it's evolved so much. Like even. And it's sad because some of the players who are there and they've been there for a really long time, you know, and it's just like I said, they're not bad. They're just a little slower. Mm-hmm. And I think that's coaches are starting to realize like America with Scarlett Camperos, you know, she played at UCI, Destiny Duron, like, you know, like coaches are starting to realize, hey, like there's these players that have maybe the same like IQ mentally, you know, but they're just a tad bit quicker. And I think, and that just this season that I've been with them, I've seen that, you know, like players who I think are really good players, but they're just slower. They're not seeing the playing time that they, I think, would see last season if the players that are there now weren't there, you know? So it's changing a lot in that sense of it's just getting quicker, I think, and trying to integrate both sides of it, you know, like the quickness, but also the IQ, which is important. I mean, I coach little girls, you know, I coach at the university level. So it's like, you look for that now. And I think there's like, it's almost like generations, you know, there's some generations that are super athletic and others that are more like IQ, crafty. And now I think we're trying to combine both everywhere. So,
How about the standard of play? What have you seen? Because there's been a lot of talk, especially with the NWSL. There's that investigation that just was
crazy
made public.
Investigation.
So obviously, you know, people have been saying like in the NWSL, like it's been going on, and maybe they were ignored or maybe pushed aside. but what has your experience been like in Liga MX? And I don't know, like how much you're
I'm
at
smiling,
liberty to share, but
I know I don't want to get in trouble.
yeah, yeah.
No, but
how are the players treated compared to like at Fulton? How is it with like going to like the practice facility? Is Cal State
Yeah.
Fulton's practice facility up to par as TJ's?
yeah. Okay, so women's soccer or in Mexico, I think in that sense is behind the US. I don't think all the teams see the women's game as equally as the men. So for example, in Tijuana, this is what I've seen. You know, in Tijuana, the men, I mean, their locker room is like amazing. Like it is one of the sickest locker rooms I think out there. You know, and we don't have the same. It's not bad, and you know, I'm super grateful to be there and everything. It's not a bad locker room, but comparison to the first team, we are also a first team there. It's very different.
Right.
You know, even meal wise, we share the eating area with Fuerzas Básicas, which is the youth academies. And the men have their own, you know? And it's like little things like that me coming from the US, I see them, you know? But the players there that come from other teams that don't have as much are like, wow, this is the best, you know? This is amazing. Like I didn't have this in other teams. But me coming from a Cal State Fullerton where our locker room was great, you know, our field, the stadium is amazing. Yeah, it's like one of the best in the Big West, you know, like coming from that, I see the lack of attention to the women's side. And it is a little, you know, I hope that bringing in players like myself and others from out here, that we can change that culture of we're also a primera, we're also a first team, you know, and treat us as equally as a man. But I think there's still ways to go with that. So I don't know if that answers your question. But
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. No, and just because a lot of the people's argument when it comes to that is basically the women's game is not bringing enough money in for them to invest that money into like better locker rooms, better living wages. What would you say about people like that that come with that way of thinking?
I think teams just haven't figured out the right ways to use the women's game for that. You know, especially out there. I'll tell you this. This should answer your question. For our games, you don't need to pay to come in. Wow. So at Tijuana, you don't have to pay, which to me, that's like, you paid for our college games, you know? And it's like...
Not if you have the student ID.
Least, not if you have the student ID. But you know, like, even like 20 pesos, you know, like, which is, I don't even know, like, not even $5.
20 cents, I believe.
Like, it's nothing. I think that would go a long way, you know, but I think it's that there's still, and the fan base is great. Like we have so many fans and we have people come out to the games. And I think if it was 10 pesos, you know, that you would charge, that could help with that side of things and make it better for the women's side. Yeah. But it's not bad, you know, like I said, I think it's growing and I'm hopeful that by the time I'm done, the players coming in have it better, you know, and the players come. That's always the goal as I think as a female footballer, it's always to just help the game grow and get more exposure. And hopefully the girls that are watching us and get excited to watch us get it better than us, you know? So.
Yeah. And that's how it starts, right? Because once like the awareness around the game becomes higher, then you can start kind of funneling in more, you know, you get more eyeballs on the sport. And I mean, I think the market, at least in the US, it's there, it's somewhat untapped. And you see teams like Angel City, like Alexis Ohanian, one of the main investors in Angel City, talks about it, like how he saw like women's soccer, especially in a market like LA, which is one of the top, if not the top soccer market in the country, is undervalued. I mean, we didn't even have a team here for as long as the NWSL, you know.
Too long.
So, I mean, seeing, like, identifying it as being undervalued and then putting, you know, like, actual investment into, you know, marketing the team correctly, creating, you know, community, you know, whatever, like, creating hype around the team. And then you see how successful their debut season was from, you know, like, a fan's like in a marketing side. You know, I mean,
Yes.
they didn't make the playoffs. And there's injuries here and there. Whatever. Like we can get into that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole other thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, when you take a look at the turnout, the attendance, so I think that's a really positive, case in which, you can look at, this is what happens when you properly do it in women's soccer. So I think, but it starts with getting that buzz around the team.
And I think one thing I do think Mexico's doing a really good job is that they've required, every men's team needs a women's team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helps a lot because now you don't need to find new fans. The fans are there.
Yeah.
If you go for, who's your team? Oh boy.
I'm gonna say America. Just
Oh
because
no.
I'm Salvadorian, so I didn't grow up. I'm just trying. I'm lying.
He's trying to get in Jen Munoz's good graces. He's trying to get in Jen Munoz's good graces. That's what
I was like Toluca. Just
All right, Toluca, yeah.
I was expecting him to say Tijuana. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, come on, man. Like,
Hey, I'm not good with pressure.
Totally kidding. They
TJ,
didn't even make the playoffs.
TJ, I love the border countries. TJ,
cities.
Yeah, TJ's my favorite, especially the dog, how skinny and like agile it looks. Those Xolos Quinklas is my team.
Yeah, but I think they're doing a really good job of doing that because the fan base is there. If my family and I were Cruz Azul fans.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, it would be his dream if I played for Cruz Azul, because that's his team. And I think a lot of the Mexican fans are like diehard fans, like they would do anything for their team. So the fan base is already there and they're starting to transfer over. If I'm a Cruz Azul fan, I'm going to go for the Cruz Azul women, and I think that's a really good thing. I think that's my biggest critique with the NWSL is like, why not just have the men make the women's team? Why not have LAFC be LAFC women? Because the fan base is already there. Like you don't need to look for more people. It's already there. That's just my idea. I think it would be smarter for teams, and I think the game would just grow even more.
Yeah, there's a couple like Portland Timbers, Portland Thorns, Houston Dash, Houston Dynamo. Like there's a couple of Orlando too. So. But
that's an interesting point.
That's a great point. Yeah, because I would like a LAFC ladies.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
Or like LA Galaxy. I mean, the club is it's such a big club with so much history. Like, imagine if you added a women's club and then be just as successful. I don't know. It's just my ideas.
Yeah, no, I mean that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, because like in other countries besides the U.S., like most of the leagues are just one league.
Right.
We have an NWSL, we have an MLS. Even USL is not even part of all that. Yeah. Even though there's some like.
And I think it goes all the way back to like when I was playing club, there was just a couple clubs, and now soccer's turned into this huge business. And I played for Legends, so I played in like OG Legends when it was like Glendora Football Club, and then we combined with Stampede, became Legends. But now there's Legends Arizona, Legends like San Diego, like just so many teams out there, and it's all just a business.
But are they legends?
But it's just a business, and it's crazy how much money it brings in.
Definitely,
it's crazy.
Like we only had Coast League. Now they have Academy.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know.
They have GA, they have ECNL, they have. As a coach, like at the university level, like I couldn't even keep up with all the different like Slammers ECNL, Slammers GA, Slammers blah blah blah. I'm like, what is
I had one of my little cousins like, are you playing bronze, premier? He's like, I'm playing fly one. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
So like it's like they have even different names of how things are structured.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm old.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah, just let me know you're premier.
Bronze, silver elite.
Like I know, like if you tell me you're premier, like I know
you're
just
legit.
being around the game. Yeah, you're a baller. If you're playing bronze, I'll know that you're trying hard. You love the game. Just let me know instead of like flight 1, flight 2.
Yeah.
Now they have like MLS Next.
Right.
So it's a lot of things going on, which is great for the game though, because growing up, when I grew up playing soccer in South Central LA, it was just dirt fields. Now everything is turf, which I hate turf though. Like I think turf is
Tell me about it.
so
Tijuana's turf.
Yeah, I know. It's the stadium.
Yes.
The stadium. Is it the good turf though?
It's not. I
Yeah, 'cause
know.
I-
It's
you
been
see it,
that
you
was
see it.
one of my biggest turf, and we train them every day. Train there every day. That's another thing. The men, we have a very nice grass field like right above the turf, and the men use that to train, but we train in the turf, and we play most of our games in grass. You know, so
Yeah.
you would think that we
Right.
train all our trainings.
Do the men play on turf too?
They do. We
Yeah.
both play in the
Yeah,
stadium.
because it's the same stadium.
Yeah,
Right.
but they train in grass. Women, there's just
That's
you know,
interesting.
there's like the machismo in
Yeah.
Mexico
Sure,
is
sure.
very
Do you
big.
guys use the big stadiums, or you guys are you?
We do use the big stadiums.
All
Yeah.
right.
Most, I think, all the teams except for I think Cruz Azul still uses like the training, like La Noria,
All right.
and their training facilities, and a couple other teams. But most of the teams use the big stadiums.
So out of all the historic stadiums that are in that league, which one has captured your just like, this is an amazing stadium?
yeah,
What's giving you that awe feeling?
Unfortunately, because of my injury, I haven't been to all the stadiums. My biggest one that I want to go to 100% is El Azteca,
Right.
because
Abraham
all the
talked about it, yeah.
history, you know, all that. I mean, that would be a dream come true. I haven't been there yet, but I will, so I'll have to come back and let you guys know about that.
Yeah.
But the Chivas Stadium was very nice. That was the one.
The Omi Life? I think
The Akron.
or something like that.
Stadium was very nice. The field, pitch wise, wasn't great. It was very like bumpy and stuff.
Isn't it turf
But
as well, or is it not?
No,
right.
they tried going turf and then they went back to
Yeah.
grass.
The players were complaining, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, the field itself wasn't great, but the stadium was very nice. The atmosphere was very nice. The locker rooms were. It seemed like it was like renovated recently. I don't know if it has. I'd have to look at the history, but it was very nice.
All right.
So I really
Chivas
like that
Stadium
one.
is one of the newer stadiums.
Yeah,
In the Mexico.
yeah.
They have
Yes.
a gigantic. It's a
Yeah,
big
it's very
stadium.
nice. Like even just like in it, when we walk through the field
Right.
before every game, and just walking through it, I was like, wow, like this is. And it was like rainy, and the clouds were nice. It was just such a cool atmosphere, you know. But that was the one that I liked. My dad would
Is
kill
it
me.
Monterrey with the one with the mountain view?
Yeah, so
Like, that one-
I haven't been to Monterrey. They came to us this season, so I'm hoping we go to them, and next
Yeah.
season, and I'll be back and I'll be
That's
playing.
like a picture. Like
Yes,
Yeah.
but
the photos
everyone
of
that
it.
I've talked to, because I asked that question to my teammates and the ones who have been there the longest, and everyone says that that's their favorite stadium,
Yeah.
just because of how pretty it is
Right.
and everything. So looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah. So what's the vibe like with the team? Have they welcomed you, as a first year player? Are they making you do, I know you have a injury, but are
Yeah.
you carrying the bags? Like you picking up the balls after practice? Like,
No, so luckily we have a utilero, which is I don't know how to say that.
Equipment manager.
Yeah.
Equipment manager, yes. An
Got this.
utilero.
I got- I
mean,
thank you,
context
thank you,
is-
thank you.
No, I got that one.
Yeah, we have an
yeah.
utilero, so we don't have to carry anything. But it's been great. I think it helps that I'm a Spanish speaker,
Right.
so I'm able to connect with them at a different level that like the English speaking only players can't, which I really am grateful for that, because I think it'd be very difficult to
Sure.
mesh with the team, and
barrier,
have that
right.
chemistry if the language barrier. They do a great job of making everyone, they try to speak English to the English speaking players, and it's pretty funny. They try to get me to teach them English, and even the coaches like have me translate things and all the time. So
you're like the de facto.
yeah,
translator
yeah,
for the team.
which I've done my whole life, always translating things. But it's been great. It's hard because at this level you're competing, and during preseason everyone is friendly, everyone is great. But as soon as like the playing minutes come in, and obviously you're not the one in control of it; it's the coaching staff. But there's going to be some,
Competitive. spirit.
yes.
Right.
So I think that's definitely the case on our team. I think we have a very strong team, bench wise, very deep, and there's a lot of people that are upset, about the playing time and all that.
There's a couple people who are like kind of rubbing their hands together once they saw your wrist break,
yeah,
They're like, okay,
exactly. So it's been good in the sense of, since I'm injured, I'm getting to see like an outside view of things, and getting to talk to everyone a lot more, and that's been cool. I think if I wasn't injured, I wouldn't get that side of things. So everything happens for a reason, like they say, and I think this has been a blessing because I wouldn't be able to connect with them in that way if I were playing.
So you said it was in August that
I had my surgery in August.
you had your surgery in August.
Yeah.
Were you playing with the?
Yeah, I would play. They would just wrap it, and I was playing.
Oh, Benzema style.
Yeah, that's what they would call me, and
Yeah.
it was funny because I was in my mind, because they weren't telling me I was hurt, so in my mind I was like, maybe I'm just being a baby. So I was trying to like do pull-ups, and in pain, and if you see the x-ray, it's like it wasn't a fracture line fracture. It was like
break.
clean break, like completely broken off, so
And they didn't tell you?
Trying to do a pull-up like this.
yeah, it was really bad. Like,
Wait, so
so I went a month, and I think they just, because I wasn't super swollen. So I think, and I'm weird. My body's just weird. Like both of my ACLs didn't swell, so I think like they were like, okay, this is weird. She's in pain, but there's nothing that indicates that it's broken. So
it took them a while to do the X-ray.
yeah. So a month in, I'm like, hey, it still really hurts. I can't do pull-ups. I can't do push-ups anymore. Like something's wrong, and they're like, okay, maybe we should get you an X-ray. It's been too long.
Oh, that's why I can't do pull-ups either. And I get my wrist.
that might be it.
Because I've been trying. I went to the gym last week, and I was struggling. It might be. I think I got two.
You should try
Yeah.
a band.
No, I think it's just my wrists that are broken.
It's a band.
Band.
No, I'll hold your
Assisted
your
pull-ups.
ankles, and then you could. Yeah,
That's why I love you, man.
I got you, bro.
That's what friends are for.
And so after, when did you know? Like, all right, now it's time really to get it checked.
Yeah, so it was after that month. I was like, okay, I was looking at the calendar because when you're in season, you kind of lose track of time. Like, so I was looking at the calendar and I was like, wait a minute, this happened literally a month ago, and I'm still in pain. So I was like, I need to tell him something, So
you went a month with a broken wrist.
Yeah,
and like a broken wrist, like that's like you know what I mean? It's not like something that you don't use every day. Like you're using your wrist, like
and it was funny because even the doctor was like, hey, like. He's like, you have a really high pain tolerance when we got the results, because he's like, this injury is like pretty bad. Like you should have been in like a lot of pain. And I was like, well, I was, but I was just kind of going with it. It's also my first season, and you're trying to prove a point, and you're trying to prove that you belong on the field and all that. So I didn't want a wrist to hold me back, So I think I was kind of hiding it in a way, like I was in pain, but I was like, it's just a wrist.
Pain-wise, was it worse than the ACLs?
No, not really. When I would do certain movements, yes, I would kind of forget that it was there, and I would try to lift something or do something quick, and then I'd be like, ow, like that hurts. Yeah. But it wasn't constant, so it wasn't as bad. But yeah, broken. I've never broken anything, so this is my first time.
Dang, I broke my girlfriend's arm, really. It was her radius and her ulna.
How?
So you've been to the base, right?
Yeah.
So that was our old facility, and it was after one of our events, and might have had a couple drinks.
But let me give a little backstory on this. They're a real competitive couple.
Okay.
Like they will not.
So she actually played soccer at Cali.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we met there. I played baseball there. She played soccer there.
So they're so competitive. Like
love sports couples.
Yeah. So I'm a competitive person. She's competitive too. Yeah. And so at the time, I think I was just starting to kind of really play, like, because I'd been around the sport for a little bit.
Long,
I was writing about it, but I hadn't really played. And so we're just kicking the ball around after the event. Like everybody's like kind of clearing off like the court.
Yeah.
So then she like kind of shoots one like pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like she'll say.
You guys were like in the court.
Yeah. So we're in the court. I'm in goal, and she's like, we're like doing penalty kicks, and before we were just passing the ball back and forth. Yeah. And then she takes a shot. She'll say that it wasn't hard, but it was like she put some like.
I mean, she played at Cal. She
yeah,
can hit
right.
a ball.
So she's a center back. Like she clears the ball. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So she hits me, like hits it hard, and I'm like, okay, so you want to do that? Oh, my turn. So we switch. I go to the spot. She goes to goal, and she'll say, I kicked it as hard as I could, which is not true. Like I kicked it, like I put, but
yeah.
I tried to match her energy. I put a good amount of like kick to it.
Yeah.
And it goes off her arm, And she goes,
no.
"You just broke my arm." And I'm like, "Okay, like relax, like
Yeah.
relax. You're being like
Dramatic.
You're being a little dramatic, but if it hurts, we'll put some ice on it. We'll go home. If it hurts, in the morning, we'll we'll get it looked at."
Yeah.
So she goes, "No, like my arm's broken. We need to leave now." And at this point, it's probably like midnight.
Oh my goodness.
So I go, "Okay, like
did
let's
you
get you some
hear
ice."
like?
I didn't
it?
hear anything, but she must have
heard
felt it,
yeah,
like instantly.
Yeah.
'Cause she
'Cause she
literally like it was
said
like the second it hit her, she
Oh
goes,
my
"My
goodness.
arm's broken." And like it's a soccer ball, and
Yeah,
I didn't I'm not a soccer player. I don't kick a
Yeah.
ball that hard, so it must have just hit her at an awkward angle, or maybe I just got it like that. But
Hey.
but so we
Too-
put some
too strong.
So we have like a
He can
like
squat.
a
He can squat.
an instant ice pack. We put it on
Yeah.
her. Say bye to everyone. Maybe 10-15 minutes it takes to say
Yeah.
bye. The second we leave, like get in the parking lot, like it's just like she's like and I'm like, oh, like this is serious, like because she was like fine, like she was like smiling, saying bye to
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
She was kind of holding her arm, but like
She's being a true soccer player.
exactly, and so like, and that's part of like what made me think it wasn't that
It
serious
wasn't,
because I
yeah.
thought like if you broke your arm, like I think you'd be in a little bit more pain, but she goes, no, like it really hurts.
my
So we have to go.
gosh.
It's like midnight. We get to the hospital like maybe 1. We're in the freaking ER for like 2 hours. Like there's people running in with like glass in their arms, like all the stuff that needs to be taken care of like immediately.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. Gets the X-ray, broken radius, broken all now. So
Both of them.
yeah. So I didn't
So
hear the end of that.
you hit it pretty hard for you to break
I must have,
both bones.
but like I certainly didn't try to kick it as hard as I could. But
Yeah.
like I was like, like you kicked me hard, like it's.
How was that awkward conversation with the doctor?
did it
Yeah,
happen?
my boyfriend just broke my arm.
He's like, let me call.
Right. Do you want to talk to someone?
Yeah.
I was not in the room for that. So like,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
But honestly, like, that means you're an all-around athlete. To kick it that hard.
There you go, there you
yeah,
go.
he's a baseball
Yeah.
player.
That's-
Like,
that's-
he was just
I don't know,
starting off.
though.
You got it like that.
yeah. I mean,
I
so
feel like
maybe-
soccer players are pretty good. Like they can play any sport. I don't know
Right.
about baseball though.
But, I mean, so the thing is.
Baseball. We don't like baseball.
No. So like
just
what?
kidding.
No.
See, the beef is real. Like every player that played college, they don't get along with the baseball team.
I mean, I don't think
It's
it's
true.
not a stretch to say that baseball players are, we're arrogant. Like there's
Yeah.
a certain attitude that comes.
I mean-
that's annoying. Like me as a baseball player, like I see, like, because I coached for a little bit too afterwards, and
Yeah.
I would see these kids and I'd be like, oh my god, like I was like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and-
Little necklaces is what does it for me. I
Especially,
hate the necklaces.
yes.
Oh,
I
you're
think
old
it's just like even, I mean, I went to Fullerton. Fullerton has a really good baseball
that's a
team,
baseball school,
and it
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you guys are not even that good. And
Right.
then I actually went
They
and
were.
watched
I mean,
them,
they
and
were
I'm like,
pretty
okay,
good.
you're
They were
pretty
pretty
good.
But like the thing is, what a bunch of
Hashtag we hate the baseball teams.
Yeah, no, but what a bunch of
Every
so, like,
school.
No, but so like a lot of
Not the
dumb,
Dodgers.
like
Shout out Dodgers.
like the type of like hardo baseball players that like just like are just like the worst. They'll say like, oh, like you put a baseball player in any sport, they'll compete. You put a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in front of any other athlete, they won't touch it. Like first of all, like that's like literally like the top 1%. Like
Yeah.
that the equivalent of facing a 95-mile-an-hour fastball is like marking like Ronaldo or
Yeah.
like
Messi.
Neymar or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's the equivalent of that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like a baseball player would not be able to do that. Trust me.
Yeah.
So like
100%.
they like to, I mean, because they can play like pick up basketball at 24
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
the YMCA or whatever. They think, oh yeah, baseball is just so much more athletic. When in reality, like it's.
I
not.
mean, you guys just stand around.
It's just like.
I wouldn't insult. I
I
wouldn't
mean,
call
there's
that
no, there's
athletic.
not.
I'm
It's
just kidding.
a
I'm
lot
not-
more.
she's not
so
lying.
much
fine motor
hate right
skill.
now. I'm
It's a lot of
sorry.
fine motor skill.
In
It's
JoJo,
not-
we trust.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a strategy game, right? I
Yeah, I mean, it's
hear that.
mental. It's very
Yeah.
mental. Very like it's closer to golf than it is
Yeah.
like soccer.
Yeah,
In that
yeah.
sense, like there's not a lot of like endurance, and that's.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be very athletic to play baseball.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not the type of athleticism you need to play soccer for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
It's
for sure.
it's different completely.
No, I respect it. I didn't mean to,
No. Like
I respect it, just not my thing.
I very
we
much-
talked about this a
Yeah.
lot.
No,
he
man, like-
agrees. For some reason, every time any college player will tell you this. For some reason, soccer team and baseball team, any school you go to, they never get along.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah. It's just a
I have my
soccer,
theories, but we
baseball
talk
team.
It's
about
a
it.
it's a baseball
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
baseball
I've actually
players.
never been to a baseball game, so
Never.
I have to.
Not even like
check it out.
at any level. Like you
At
didn't go to
any-
any of the Fullerton games.
Yeah, well, I worked event staff at Fullerton, so
That
I
doesn't
worked
count,
the
though. You,
games.
like,
Yeah,
you're-
yeah.
you're
But
not
I
on
never
your phone the whole
actually
time.
went to the games.
You were at your phone the whole time working?
No,
During the
no.
game? All right.
I was a good worker. I would, would be bored. I think one game once went till, because you know how like you just keep going.
There's no
Yeah,
time
extra
limit.
innings. Yes.
Right.
So we went like till midnight. I think one
Were you
game, and I
getting,
was so
overtime?
over it. Yeah.
So
So
you're
that's
getting,
why I
like,
stayed.
time and a half.
Yeah. But it was horrible. I was like, this is so boring. I can't. I always said like I could never date a baseball guy. Like I could never.
out to Mel
I
for
wouldn't
doing
go
it.
to the games. I would never go to the games. I married a basketball
Well,
player.
watching baseball.
There you go. There you go.
Watching baseball is different. Watching baseball, like even I mean, like if you throw in a game, like playoff
It's
baseball is
America's
different.
pastime.
Yeah, but it's boring to watch. Like
gotta
it's
go to the
slow.
stadium against
Like
semi-drunk.
if you go to the
Yeah, I
stadium,
hear
like
you
Doc-
need an atmosphere, like
yeah,
people
yeah,
to
yeah.
go with.
But like if it's like a
got a
regular season
pregame.
game, like in the middle of
Yeah.
July, like the players are going like 80%. Like I'm
Yeah.
not watching that.
No,
Yeah.
you gotta go pregame, then make it to the stadium,
Yeah.
get two more drinks.
Get some tacos, get some
Yeah.
margaritas, get some, the stadium, baseball stadium food is, I think, like probably
Top
Really
tier
good.
compared to other games.
Yeah.
I hear the Giants Stadium
Giant
is
Stadium.
like
that-
one of the
yeah,
best.
Yeah. San Francisco,
Yeah.
like they have crazy.
Forget those guys.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
sure.
not a baseball fan.
We don't
Yeah,
like the
no,
Giants.
I'm
but
from
their
LA, so I
stadium-
guess I'm a Dodger fan, but
Yeah, nah, Giants.
go LA.
I mean, you're not wrong. But their stadium, they have like one
Yeah,
of the best
they have a great
stadiums
stadium.
in the country.
Maybe
with, like, the
I
food
I
options.
should go with some Tijuana teammates because we're right there.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
No, that's San
San
Diego.
Diego.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I should go with like the Tijuana
pop-
teammates.
Yeah. Well,
Bring
San
them
Diego's
over.
got a great stadium too.
As well.
They do?
They have, yeah. They have
Really?
an awesome field.
If they hit a home run, it goes straight into the ocean, correct?
That's San Francisco.
Oh, never mind.
San Diego. It's just like
That's
In the middle of the
cool.
gas lamp?
yeah. So it's like right in the city. Like it's a pretty new stadium. So everything's like pretty modern. They have good food options. It's just a really cool stadium. Like it's just
There, who's San Diego? What team?
Padres.
Padres.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It used to be called Petco. I think it's still called Petco.
Yeah,
but
I think it is.
You should have a softball team called Madres. She got it. She got it.
you don't have to be a genius. Like you don't have to be a bilingual like polyglot to get that one. Like come on. Like,
I always say like Spanish jokes are so much like funnier than
not
like,
that one. Don't give them credit for that.
Well, yeah, but
No,
like like.
giggle. Don't backtrack you now. It was a
But
great
you know,
joke.
like I
She's
don't
being
know.
polite.
My husband, he's like an English
Dad
speaker,
jokes.
and I always say like I'm funnier in Spanish, but he like doesn't get it. You
thinks
know,
it's
like
an
I'll say
excuse?
things in Spanish, and I'm like cracking up, and he's like, blink, blink. You know, like
Yeah. No, I mean it's
Great husband. He's
It's a
trying to keep it
thing.
real.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing for sure. No, for sure. Because like like translating jokes, like it doesn't.
It
it's not
doesn't
one. It's
translate,
not
yeah.
one for one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, we would love to have you here all night. But at the end of the show, I usually end up with some rapid fire questions.
oh boy.
Nothing really bad.
Why do you always say nothing bad? Like I feel like that like just makes it.
Now I'm like,
Yeah, you know what
sweating.
I mean? Like just go for it. Don't.
Just trying to get him nervous a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
right.
Yeah.
Favorite soccer cleat to play in?
Mercurials because I have very narrow feet.
The most nostalgic a soccer cleat. Like if you could talk to any brand to bring one soccer
my
cleat
gosh.
back, which soccer cleat would it be?
Total 90s.
Ooh,
I actually
yeah, that's a
have.
good
This side?
Yes, I had
wow.
like the indoors. I had like every color. That's what I would wear to like mass. I would wear them all the time.
To mass.
Yeah.
Dang, you be in
I
church.
like-
Shout out Jesus.
Yes, I like.
Oh, Jesus.
I actually just found a pair. Shout out to Soccer Warehouse in like
Well, they
Fountain Valley.
They brought him back a couple years ago. Maybe
Yeah,
like
I
2018.
I found a pair, so I have them, and they're like in a not a glass case. I wish I had a glass case,
okay.
but I haven't used them. They're just
So
there
like they're like
'cause I
the
love them.
from like
yeah,
the
like
2000s.
old,
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
It's
Nice.
like an all black, like it's
Yeah.
very sick.
All
for
right.
those.
Playing at Fullerton or playing at Xolos now?
Playing at Xolos now for what it stands for.
All right. If you were able to pick a national team, the U.S. or Mexico, which national team would be?
Mexico, 100%.
Wow. Not even a thought.
Not
it's a
even
jersey.
a thought.
It's a New Jersey. hat.
jerseys.
It's a New Jersey.
That's what it is. That's what it
Well, I
is.
was born in Mexico, you know. I that's I always say I'm 100% Mexican, and I have so much pride for my culture. So Mexico for sure.
All right, last one. Before the game, what will be the 3 songs on your playlist? Top 3 songs you have to hear before a game.
Bad Bunny, Ella Perrea Sola.
Before a game.
That one's like the turn up one, you know?
Yeah.
Then I would go, I don't think I have 3, but for sure, Como Quien Pierde Una Estrella from Alejandro Fernandez. It's it's just like, there's a backstory to that song, and every time I would play it before every game at Fullerton, it's like my last song, because it just brings me back to like my family and like my why and everything, you know. So that one for sure.
All right.
I don't have a third one.
What about best taco in Tijuana?
Ooh,
That's a good one. I forgot about the tacos.
Tijuana has the best food. It is so dangerous. Like this is my first time being out there, and I'm like obsessed with the food. But there's this little stand. I think it's called Taconazo, like taconazo.
Yeah. It's like a big heel.
And it's like it's like a little stand. It's like a little hole in a wall. Mm-hmm. Kind of place, and they even have like you go and can put like frijoles de la olla, like rice, like it's it's probably my favorite from the ones I've tried, but I haven't tried all of them. So
ain't no King Taco, but whatever.
King Taco.
King Taco, I love King Taco.
Bro, all right, now I'm getting hungry. I think it's time to eat.
I know, seriously.
We gotta go eat.
King Taco.
All right, Jojo, thank you so much. I mean, this is a lot of fun. Appreciate you coming out. I know you're busy with all the travel, so it's great to have you on.
Thank you guys for having me. I really enjoy this. I always see your stuff, and now being on this side is kind of cool because I'm always,
she was a little nervous at first. She told me at the association.
Yeah, at the
association. She was like, what are you guys going to ask me? I'm like, just be chill people. We're not going to ask
I know,
nothing,
I'm like, I've never done this.
Hard.
How does this work? I'm always on the other side of the events, I'm like the brand ambassador. So shout out to the association. See you guys there on Thursday. I'll be there checking all of you guys in.
Yeah, right.
Do I have to make line now though? Can we end up on that?
I know,
can I just skip
Honestly, everyone like always complains, and I'm just doing my job. They just tell me to check everyone in. I got to check everyone in. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be, once you get that cast, I'm going to get back out there. We'll be watching. But best of luck to you moving forward.
Thank you.
For Julio Monterosa, Jojo Rosas, I'm Ramsey Abushala. This has been the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. We'll see you guys next week.
Bridget, feel better.
Yeah, with Bridget, hopefully.
Hopefully.